What's up, guys? Dr. Bailey, Dr. Bailey's Evolved Health and Wellness. Sorry for the delay here. It took me a minute to kind of work through the new Facebook settings here. It's going to be a little bit of a different Medical Monday today for a couple different reasons. But one of the things I wanted to try to do is, for one, open it up to some questions and answers. And then a big topic that I hear a lot about recurrently when I'm doing my recommendation appointments is back pain, hypertension, these kinds of issues. So what I wanted to do is give some personal examples of what I do. I've said it before, and I'm a big believer in, I don't want to be that doctor that tries to tell folks to do, hey, you need to not drink, not smoke, exercise, eat right, do those things, and then not do it myself, because I think that's the kind of load of crap that really has us in the situation we are as just as a society. I feel like as doctors, we need to take a little bit more responsibility for not just do as I say, but to also do as I do. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. How you doing, Mr. Cleveland? Like I said, drop some questions if you have anything you really want to discuss. I've got some ideas for future. I think next Monday we're going to do a dementia and Alzheimer's in association with cannabis. Today's, in depending on questions and comments, not a lot of cannabis talk today. Today is just general things. And I'll give you some examples of that here in just a moment. Get everybody a chance to get online. By all means, feel free to share this post out, share the video out. We've got a lot of renewals going on right now for Oklahoma and Arkansas. We are currently booked out to like October 4th or 5th right now. So if you have a license, a cannabis license that is going to expire, please look at it. If it's the middle of October on, you're fine. We'll just go ahead and book the next appointment and we'll get you through the application phase. You'll be ready to rock and roll. But if it's before then, what you can do is shoot me an email to the evolvedhealthandwellness@gmail.com, all one word. And I'll actually put that in over here and let me know, hey, my card is going to expire. And I'll go and have you book an appointment and then move you either before clinic or after clinic. I work a lot right now, so I'm not a big fan of doing that, but I don't want people's license to expire either. So I'll figure out a way to get you taken care of one way or another. Hope everybody had a great Labor Day. It was kind of nice not to do a whole lot. As I've talked about previously, I'm active in the military, also a professional fighter. I'm going to be fighting October 24th in Oklahoma City at Farmers Market. Tickets are supposed to go on sale anytime now, today or tomorrow. The venue will probably sell out pretty quickly. If you're interested in that, just message the Evolve page. I'll be able to get you some information on some tickets. It's always a pretty exciting night. We're actually going to sponsor the fights there as well. That'll be kind of neat. And that's kind of what's going to lead us a little bit into my topic for today. So 4th of July. Yeah, I do two things. Christmas, 4th of July. And if you were around my house on 4th of July, you know that we blew a lot of stuff up. 4th of July, all summer long, I exercise gratuitously all the time. I tell folks that, and I do. I get up at 4:30 every morning and work out. Wasn't doing cardio, wasn't doing things that I normally do. And what I noticed was that I was tired. I was fatigued. I started checking my blood pressure. First time in my life, my blood pressure was like 150/80. I was 205-ish pounds. I fight at 145 pounds. And so it was kind of a little bit of a wake-up call. So I basically went back to what I always preached to do. I looked at what I take in, and this becomes kind of an important topic right now, especially when you look at Corona and COVID. And this is, if you know me personally, or a lot of people that do know me, I'm a steak, potatoes, ranch guy. That's my thing, man. I love Hidden Valley Ranch. You know, if I come to your holiday party or dinner party, I'm probably bringing some ranch with me. But with that being said, what we had to look at, or what I had to look at, is, dietary things that we eat that we don't necessarily have to. So 4th of July, I was 205 pounds, give or take. This morning, I'm 170.1. October 24th, I'll weigh October 23rd, I'll weigh 145 pounds. And, I hear all the time in my recommendation appointments, just in general health and wellness appointments on the street when I talk to people, I've got low back pain, I've got blood pressure issues, I've got diabetes, I got these other things. we can fix so many of these things with just basic dietary things. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of what I personally do, and like I said, you guys are more than welcome to drop some comments or questions, and we can kind of take it from there. And this can get monotonous to a degree, and so a cheat day is super important when it comes to eating correctly and exercising, doing those things. Make sure you give yourself some time off. Don't turn a cheat day into a cheat week, but it definitely does work really well. Every single morning. Beautiful stuff. Honestly, I keep a measuring spoon in there, third of a cup, mix in with a little bit of chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, mixed in with a little bit of cinnamon and some almond butter, boiling water, throw in some blueberries or blackberries, whichever you prefer. That is we call it, breakfast bowl. It was made famous by Mike Dolce, who's one of the UFC dietitian guys. But it works exceptionally well, and it's very clean. Helps with cholesterol, helps with energy, helps with focus. You will feel pretty good after that. And then my lunch and dinners right now are I've kind of looked at, hey, what is a high energy food or a nutrient dense food? And so kale is always up there. I'm not a big fan of kale. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. Broccoli is usually up there, spinach, those types of things. Then I was walking through, I don't remember if this was Walmart or Target the other day. Well, I say there, it's been a minute, but I came across these. And so these, there's a couple different varieties of these. This one's Super Blend. There's broccoli slaw. There's some other things that are out there. But the cool thing about that is I basically will throw some oil in a pan and I'll saute those vegetables, a handful, about a cup of that. Throw in some asparagus, and then season it to taste and then add whatever protein you want. Now, for me personally, and I hear this a lot, I hear, hey, it's too expensive to eat healthy. And to a degree, it can be. To eat healthy and have it always taste great, seasonings go a long ways. I'm a big fan. I watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I watch Guys Grocery Games, Chopped. I watch those things just to kind of see what folks do with things from a seasoning standpoint. But chicken breast, salmon, or some sort of fish, and I buy big bulk packs of chicken breasts, and we just throw them on a grill and grill them all on Sunday, and then you're ready to rock and roll for the rest of the day. And then I switch that out in the evening. So the evening time, I will repeat this. I will head on in to either, if I had chicken for lunch, probably won't do it for dinner, and vice versa with like steak or salmon or hamburger or turkey burger or whatever along the lines. And then periodically I'll throw in some whole eggs. But the other kick to this is water. And I know I hear all the time, I hear folks say, oh man, I drink a lot of water. I used to think I drink a lot of water too, until sitting and talking with my wife one day, went back way back when, and she was drinking a gallon of water a day. I was like, wow, that seems like a lot. So then I sat down and actually tried to do that. And it's taken years before I was able to kind of do it on a routine day-to-day basis. So adding that water will help you immensely. Helps with kidneys, helps with skin, helps with cardiovascular issues. There's so many different options there. Now, and I lied earlier when I said it wouldn't be anything cannabis related. I always try to implement, hey, how can we take cannabis products and add it in? So, one of the big things in my dad lives over in Claremore. I'm over here in Tulsa, and he said something to me the other day, and I just wanted to thump him on the forehead, but it made sense. He said, well, I wish they didn't have candies and everything else sitting at the front register when you're going to check out. And I said, well, that's what being an adult is, and having some restraint, but I get where he's coming from. So cannabis with known appetite suppressant. So THCV is a known appetite suppressant. Humulene is a terpene that's a known appetite suppressant. Girl Scout cookies, let's see here, Durban Poison, Jack the Ripper, Skunk Number 1, Willie Nelson. I mean, you've got Tangy, Doug's Baron. You got a couple different options here that all do a good job of appetite suppression, as well as giving you the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits that are there. And when I talk about this stuff, and I know this may not be the most exciting topic, but it really will help folks. And I say that with experience, and I say that from our patient population. So with our patient population right now, if I go back from the very beginning, July 28, 2018 to now, Our average weight loss at 6 months is anywhere from 20 to 40 pounds. And the reason that is because with cannabis, you sleep better, you feel better, your pain's more well controlled. And then going forward from there, you want to be more active. And a lot of times weight is a big issue there. It hurts our knees, hurts our low back, causes an abnormal curvature to the low back. It's a problem. And I speak, again, that's another area I speak from experience. In May of 2017, I rolled my truck down the Broken Arrow Expressway, almost 200 yards. There was a drunk driver right in front of me, caused a wreck, took out my suspension, and just tumbled. And so I blew up 2 or 3 discs in my lower back, 2 really, L3, L4, L4, L5. L5S1 was already messed up. We found that out later. And there was days that when I would go in and sit on the sink, I had to brush my teeth. I couldn't hold myself up because the back pain was so bad. I wasn't overweight. I just had an injury. And so what I had to do was I had to modify things. And so when it comes to weight loss and cannabis and pain, and especially low back pain, I did the injections. I did the physical therapy, 16 weeks of goal-directed physical therapy. I tried to be the good patient. Everything they told me to do, I did it at home, on top of doing my normal appointments. But the number one thing that gave me the most bang for the buck is when I got frustrated and went home and started doing my own thing. Stretching is a big, big deal. It gets underplayed and does not get the love that it needs, as well as planks. And, I think almost everybody's heard of planks. A lot of people, they misconstrue and they think of doing sit-ups. They think of doing crunches, and leg raises aren't bad. Definitely is a different area of the core that we're working on. But the beautiful thing about planks is this: you don't have to hold a 5-minute long plank. You can work your way up to where you're holding 30 to 45 seconds to a minute. And that's going to give you some significant improvement because it works on both the anterior and posterior chain. So your spinal column as well as your abdominals. By doing those simple things, I was able to go back and be athletic. I was able to go back and start deadlifting weights again. I was able to go back and squat. I mean, I lift relatively heavy weights. I mean, trust me, there's guys way stronger, but I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do mainly because of that. Now, trust me, I fight October 24th. It's our anniversary the next week, so we're flying and going to Jamaica. I'm going to eat whatever I want in Jamaica. I can promise you that. That's what I'm going to do. But when I come back home, I'll start back into it. Now, I checked my blood pressure just a moment ago. My blood pressure is 120/61. I don't take medications. The only thing I've done is I just adjusted my diet. I do exercise a lot. I have a fighters page as well. It's just Brandon Bailey on Facebook here. It's under the pages tab. And if you follow that, you'll see yesterday, just because I'm a big believer in trying to do things that you're not comfortable with doing. And for a lot of people, this diet stuff will be a thing that you're not comfortable doing. Through my military history, through everything else, I've run 5 miles at the most ever. And so yesterday I decided, I'm going to go run 10 miles. And I did. And it hurt. It was kind of a learning experience, but it was something I was super proud of doing that. I bring that up because it's something I didn't think that I could necessarily do because I've never done it. This diet and stuff follows right into that. This is kind of the thing about what I built Evolved Health and Wellness around. Yes, cannabis is a huge part of that because it's natural. You're not going to hurt yourself with it. The side effects is non-existent, eating and sleeping. But I try to come up with ways, working in the hospital, seeing people get admitted routinely, seeing people, working in hospice, end of life care, talking to patients and saying, hey, what do you regret? And 9 times out of 10, it's preventative stuff that could have been fixed that they just didn't take the time to address when they were a little bit earlier on. And my hope is that if I bring out enough and I say it enough, it may not stick to everybody, but it'll stick to some folks. Again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment, shoot me a message directly on the Evolve page. That's a big thing for me, making sure that if you guys, thank you, Mr. Cleveland, that if you guys need anything, you guys can get a hold of me. That is something about when you come to see us for a recommendation. If you ever need a new form, you need something done, if you message the Evolve page, you don't get a secretary, you don't get a staff assistant, you get myself 99.9% of the time. It is something that I take a lot of pride in. So don't hesitate to holler at me. I'm big in the nutrition side. I'm big in the fitness side. I'm big in the cannabis side. I'm big in trying to be as holistic as possible. Don't get me wrong. There's times we got to have meds. I don't like to say that a lot because I don't want people to think of them as a crutch. And that's a prime example of Phentermine. I do get patients asking me to write. I won't write Phentermine. And there's a couple reasons why. Number one, that the cardiovascular risks associated with Phentermine are through the roof. So if a doctor is writing you Phentermine, he doesn't care about you, doesn't know anything about weight loss, and it's just trying to cash a check, I guess, because it doesn't do anything. It does, absolutely. You're going to lose weight right then. But the second you stop taking Phentermine, it's going to come right back. So the whole thing is changing and remodeling our behavior. On top of it, there was lawsuits in the 80s and 90s for Fen over the counter. That's why. It's because of what it does. If you just make some mild changes, usually they're really small, really simple. Mike Dolce, I'll put his information up here in the comment section. He's got several books out that are super easy to read. The meals are actually really solid, really good. I use the 3 weeks to shredded for my own personal weight cuts when I'm 3 weeks out from a fight. And like I said, I lose a lot of weight, and I don't encourage everybody to do that. I've wrestled in college. I've done this for a long, long time. I've been cutting weight since, I don't know, I was 14, so 95. And so it's something that I've gotten really good at, but I know personally how I respond. Now, as far as significant weight loss in a healthy manner, though, I can do that, and I can help most people do that. Ms. Kerr, is there something you can recommend for high blood pressure? So it depends on what you're talking about. So beets are a nitrate-producing plant that do a great job of vasodilation, can help with blood pressure as well. Avoiding sodium, that's what gets 99.9% of folks, is the sodium content of what they eat or drink. Sodium is salt, and you think of it like this. Anywhere that salt goes, water goes. So if you have a lot of salt in your bloodstream, your blood's going to hold on to water, and what that does is it puts pressure on the pipes. And so when you put pressure on the pipes, blood pressure goes up. So, and it makes your kidneys work extra, because kidneys actually are the controlling mechanism for about 99% of your blood pressure. A lot of people aren't aware of that. If the kidneys don't get a lot of blood to them, they send out a signal, releases a chemical, blood pressure goes up, and then vice versa. So definitely, excuse me, definitely something to look at when you're trying to naturally lower blood pressure, Miss Linda. And so, Miss Linda, your blood pressure 136/82. That's actually great, and I'm going to tell you why. So, a thing that we're not covering very well in medical care right now is blood pressure in what I would consider older adults, patients over 55. Now, this does not apply if you've had a stroke, if you have you've had bypass surgery or something along those lines. And the reason it doesn't apply is because you need strict blood pressure control and monitoring, especially at congestive heart failure. But one thing that we know is that we over control blood pressure in the 60, 70, and 80-year-old patients. We bring it too low. It increases fall risk. It increases hip fractures. It increases brain bleeds, all these other problems. Blood pressure, ideally in that range, should be a little bit higher. In the 140s and 150s is okay there. And as you get aged, and you get up into the 70s and 80s, I'm okay with blood pressure in the 150s, 160s there. And there's a whole other discussion why, but a big part of it is this. If you take the wiring in your house, and your house is 50 years old, you start to get some shorts in it. Well, what the big thing to look at is this: when you go from the seated to a standing position, naturally your body's response is to kick up your blood pressure to fight gravity. So from there, as you age, the electrical signal is not quite as fast. Gravity, it outweighs or outpowers the blood pressure. Blood pressure doesn't rise accordingly when you stand up and then you fall over. Now, the way the body's mechanics for that is as you age, you're sitting or laying, blood pressure is going to be higher. That way, when you do stand, it's going to come down to a relatively normal range, but not bottom out. And that's something to always think about and consider. All right. So, Mr. Paul, to renew the card, all you have to do is visit our website. I will type it in here as a response to you. Evolved Health and Wellness.com. Click on the red book your appointment button and select the Oklahoma renewal option. And that will get you set up. Renewals are $40 in Oklahoma. Miss Burton, I need help with the weight loss for everything. So 99% of the times, Miss Burton, what I hear when I hear somebody say, hey, I need help with losing weight, I've tried everything, it almost always comes down to what are we eating. And so keeping a strict, and you just can't lie to yourself. You just got to be really open and upfront with it. Strict everything that you eat. The app that I personally use, let me see if I can get it pulled up here, is called Senza, S-E-N-Z-A. The cool thing, if I get this to pull up, is it's got, and it's more keto based, but I really like it because what it'll do is it'll automatically track everything that we put in it. So if I want to add something, I click on that button, click on the little barcode scanner, and then it will scan the nutritional information, automatically put it in there for me. So if we really look at that, that's how I track, because I can tell you the little things that will catch you. Like I said earlier, the Hidden Valley Ranch, those little sauces and stuff you throw on things, those add up and those will catch you quick. Now, I recommend like a full-on keto diet in folks that are overweight, fairly large. You know, my old office manager, she did an exceptionally good job. She didn't exercise. I wanted to pinch her head for not exercising, but she lost almost 100 pounds in like 8 months doing nothing but a strict keto diet. I myself, because I am so active, I do kind of a modified. So instead of doing less than 20 grams of carbs a day, I do between 35 and 45, sometimes 50, depending on my activity. You know, I got up at 4:30 this morning, did my workout. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to go back to the gym this evening to train again for this fight. So you can modify those things. But what I try to ensure is that everything that I take in there's nothing empty in it, no empty calories. That's a big, big deal. Alex Maroney of Crohn's and Vape, and I always get the munchies before bed and a bunch of ice cream and gummies. So minimizing the munchies, again, look at the strains and varieties that you're using before bed. That's step one. Step two, surround yourself with stuff. And I told you, this is literally my life. This is what I do. So low sodium almonds. I hate peanuts. I'm not even a big fan of almonds. I'm not going to lie. But they're a phenomenal snack food. Now, they do have like 1 gram of carbs in them, but they have a pretty decent amount of protein, some healthy fats. That's a big thing. Whenever you hear people get upset, talk about the keto diet, the biggest problem, and they're not wrong, the biggest problem is the wrong fats, eating a ton of bacon, yellow cheeses. I mean, not sourcing quality types of fat. Avocados are great. Turkey bacon's not a bad thing at all. I substitute that all the time. Almonds. I can tell you whenever I do this, I just fiend for pickles. I'm not gonna lie. And I know that kind of goes against our sodium talk earlier, but if you're drinking a gallon of water a day, you're hitting that keto number, it's your body letting you know, hey, you need something. And those are a great substitute there. Miss Linda, yes, you will absolutely feel fine. It's, I promise. Now, if you're so Miss Linda's talking about her blood pressure was in 136/82, but her hands and arms are getting cold. And so if both arms are getting cold, that's a vascular issue, most likely somewhere in this area. Actually, it's probably more in the trunk here, to be brutally honest. And you always have to look at most common things and then work through those. So there's some things that they can do. They can do what's called ABIs, ankle brachial indexes, where they check the blood pressure in the ankles and the wrists, and they can compare it and look at blood flow. Those are some great things that they can do to try to determine, Miss Linda, hey, this is why you're having an issue with temperature regulation, or that's the reason why. So Ms. Burton, so I'm right there with you. She asked about weight loss earlier. She's like, I hate cardio. I love weights. Blood pressure's 130/90 on meds, and anxiety makes it worse. Works better. I'll get right to you, Alex. So here's the thing. I hate it. I hate running. I get so angry when I think and I talk about running. Like, it literally drives me crazy. But it's one of those that I really tried to sit down and look at, hey, what's going to make me better? What's going to help me? And it's gotten to where now that I've run so much in the past month that I'm actually really comfortable running. Like I said yesterday, I just decided, I'm just going to run. Now, I will say, rowers, I used to love rowing. Not a big fan of rowers anymore. Stationary bikes, I've got Peloton, and I've jumped on a couple times. I kind of like it because I can watch the videos while I'm riding and kind of compete with other people and stuff. But I've gotten to where I'm not a big fan of cardio inside a gym or in-trap space. I'm not a big fan of it. So I'm right there with you. But the fear of taking blood pressure medications or developing diabetes, all these other things, that knocks it right out of me, and I'm up and going. I'm reading a book right now. I've actually just finished it, and some people have heard me mention it before. And he's got strong language in it, so I always tell people, hey, if it's going to hurt your feelings, ignore the book, don't read it. But Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And it's a great mental thing. Helps you really think of what you're capable of doing and what you might be able to do and accomplish. I recommend it to everybody, especially from a mental toughness perspective. It's been phenomenal. Kay Sheehan, hey, Miss Kay, how are you doing? So Alex, so snacking wise, when you've got Crohn's, some Greek yogurts are going to be good. If you can tolerate yogurt. Again, pickles, that's a big thing for me. You just have to kind of monitor the salt intake. Fruits, I try to keep a lot of fresh fruit around, because fresh fruit honestly doesn't typically have a lot of sugar in it. So I use like nectarines or plums or blackberries, blueberries, those types of things. The berries typically have lower carb levels anyway. And another thing that I snack on is cucumbers. It's pretty much water. And I know that if it's ever in the evening, I'm bored and I'm just really wanting to eat something, and I know that I'm on my way during this weight cut, I'll grab a cucumber and some like Greek yogurt ranch or something. It's got 40 calories for a tablespoon or something. Chop up half of a cucumber and snack on that. Another thing that I've gotten that I really like, and I don't know about this with Crohn's, Alex, but I've hated Brussels sprouts my entire life. I hate them. Makes me want to throw something through the wall. Don't want them. But my wife did find a really cool recipe, and we started making them, and now they're my go-to snack. So cut up some Brussels sprouts, boom, 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 throw them on a cookie sheet, sprinkle olive oil across the top of them, season salt on top, lemon pepper, whatever your seasoning of choice is. Throw your oven up to 400. Put it in there once you're at temperature for 18 minutes, give or take. They're like, they don't get hard and crunchy, but man, the salt flavor, and on top of that, Brussels sprouts are huge in iron, potassium. I mean, they're very, what I consider nutrient dense. Again, that is always something to look towards whenever you're trying to figure out, hey man, what's a good snack, or what should I eat on? Just type in Google nutrient dense foods, and that will get you started. And trust me, again, I'm a steak, potatoes, ranch guy. So play with it and you'll come up with things. Fresh garlic makes so much stuff taste better. I've never been a garlic person. I'm not a salt and pepper really type person. I've never really seasoned things before. I just drowned it in ranch. That was kind of my thing. But now I've really looked into how can I make this stuff taste a little bit better and a little bit different. The last little thing that I do that I love to eat into is scrambled eggs, 2 or 3 scrambled eggs, with some lean ground beef, lean ground turkey, ground chicken, some sort of lean meat mixed in and then scrambled up together. That does a great job of getting you high levels of protein, low levels of carbs. All right, guys, let's see here. I really appreciate anybody interacting. Appreciate everybody that took the time to view. Next week, we are going to hit dementia / Alzheimer's, kind of go over that as well. Probably going to lean a little bit more back into a terpene as well. I haven't decided which terpene I want to do. I did brief talk about terpenes, but I want to hit one specific terpene each Medical Monday on top of the topic. So we'll see how that progresses. There will not be a Medical Monday on October 26th because I'll be out of town. And the Evolved will be closed the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Other than that, if you guys need me, shoot me a message. Like I said, if you have somebody who's curious about any of these things, share the video with them, tag them in the video, have them shoot me a message here on the Evolve page. I'll be glad to discuss anything I can to help out folks. Have a great rest of your week.